Welcome to Women Leaders, Secrets to Success. Today on our show, joining us from Oakland, California, is Lucy Leonelli, who is a new author. Lucy, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. So why don't you tell everybody about your new book?
Sure. So my book is about a year I spent working my way through 26 subcultures. So I actually took a sabbatical from my day job and went through the alphabet. And for each letter, I lived with a different subculture. So, for example, for A, I lived with the aristocracy in the UK with a Marchioness. And for B, I did a big battle reenactment. For C, I lived with the circus and so on. I was a nudist and a vampire. And it was immersive. So not just kind of from a journalistic perspective, but actually try to really live the lives of these people and really understand them and find out the threads of humanity that connect us all.
That's a great idea. I'm very intrigued by that idea and how fun that must have been. It took you a year to do that, a year to live it, and then how long to write it?
Goodness me, a few years actually to write it. So,
and you took a year
to actually get yeah. So the year itself actually worked out beautifully because there are 26 letters of the alphabet, and so I had a week to actually get involved in these communities, then a week to write, and I blogged as well about the journey as I went. And then the process of just kind of, changing my condensed thoughts into something that some people might want to read, then took a couple of years of editing and that kind of process.
Fabulous. So I can't wait to read it. It sounds incredible. It's sort of like a dream fantasy of, being able to immerse yourself in different cultures. So that must have been fun for you. Does that fall under I know I read a little bit about you and you said you fall under the category of FOMO, fear of missing out. Is that what inspired you to do something like this? You could tell what everybody else is doing?
That's absolutely it. Yep. Categorically, that's what happened. It was it was a third life crisis or something where I was just living the corporate life, enjoying it, but feeling like I was missing out on something, over there. There's something else. I haven't tried every single flavor of life that's out there. So how can I possibly commit to one kind of version of myself? So it was just a year of letting my FOMO run amok and really getting to experience all these different types of people, these different communities and way that they live their lives with a hope that I would be able to choose one and stick to one and then that would be my life. But of course, didn't work out that way. I just ended up falling in love with a lot of these communities and picking up like lots and lots of different hobbies.
That's really incredible. Well, so I've read about you and I know you're a blogger and writer and you have a day job as well. You're very busy, but I was intrigued with the conversations about success and I was intrigued with your story because you were in a near fatal motorcycle accident and you've come out of that. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what helped you survive it? What helped you get through it?
Sure. Yeah. So it was, I was commuting, I was on my way to work and unfortunately somebody coming the other direction fell asleep at the wheel and just kind of slumped on the wheel and hit me head on. So it was pretty dramatic. It was, broke my neck and my back and my pelvis and all sorts of things. So I was very lucky to survive, long process of recovery and very difficult, but also the blessings that come out of that are, it's particularly going from writing my book and living in all these different worlds. It really kind of concentrates your world into one room physically, right? You're in the ICU room and you're recovering. So you do learn how to be in the moment and you do learn how to really celebrate the small things. You have small victory. A victory on one day might be like moving your fingers on your right hand, and that's your everything. And all of the responsibilities of life are lifted off you as well. So you're not having to remember birthdays and text people back, and all these kind of stresses and strains that creep in. So it was really life affirming. And you do, when everything is taken away from you, and all of your your physical movements are taken away from you, you do really enjoy that. The first shower after 3 months was the most life-affirming, wonderful thing that I tried to put into words. I don't know how successful I was because you can't. It was just so wonderful. So you do really appreciate those small things along the way, and you really appreciate all of what life has to offer. So almost like going through that kind of deprivation experience was this very big life affirming and moving experience that allowed me to kind of re-plug in again. And also just feeling the love from everybody, family and friends and nurses and strangers, just this love that you develop for people that you never met before that step in and help you out. And it's just so surprising and makes you fall in love with the world again.
I can understand that. And I think nurses are absolutely heroes in our society. They're incredible. How long was it from accident to you were walking again? How long was the recovery?
Well, I had my wedding planned for, gosh, what was it? 9 months, I think, after the accident. So that was being able to walk down the aisle, aided by my, leaning on my dad, of course, but that was my big goal. And so that's how long it took. And the doctors along the way were very cynical about it happening, but just having that thing to aim for was wonderful. So I did 8 weeks solidly in rehab after going through all the various different hospitals. I had 8 or 9 surgeries, and then I had this intense rehab period. And a little bit of time after that, I got a puppy. So that was great. That got me out to do some exercise, helped me along the way. So yeah, the whole process just took 9 months. And then of course that was walking. And then of course it was, I'm still sort of getting to the running and everything else phase.
Right. Those a remarkable story. Just last question. I could talk to you all day, but these interviews are short and sweet. But last question, what trait do you see in successful women when you look at across the board? What do you think all successful women have?
I think resiliency, and that's probably a little sad, isn't it? That you need to be resilient, but you absolutely do. And I think that came out through my experiences and my accident. Is just kind of to just keep swimming and keep carrying on, and not be consumed by some of the challenges that you're faced along the way. So it's that, and it's, I guess, combined with that is kind of tenacity. And that's come through this year, especially during COVID, and it's been particularly challenging this year because I think to have that resiliency and that tenacity, you need to refill your pot a little bit, and you do things that bring you joy to be able to refill that, spending time with people and things, and we haven't been able to do that so much. So it's been a real test, I think, of everybody's resiliency the last year, but if you've got through it, then it'll only make you stronger.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to sign off, but before I do, why don't you tell everybody the title of your new book?
Thank you. Yeah. It's A Year in the Life, Adventures in Subcultures.
Okay, wonderful. Well, Lucy, thank you for making the time for us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Jessica.
It was an honor. If you'd like to learn more about Lucy's book, you can check out iwantedbuzz.com. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.